Dear God, I'm not sure that you exist, and my better judgment says that you don't. I do, however, realize that my better judgment could be wrong, and it is with this attitude of honesty and humility that I approach you. You may be wondering why a non-believer such as myself would take the time to write to you, and to this, all that I can offer is, why not? If you don't exist, I lose nothing, and if you do exist, it is my hope that we can, at the very least, learn to understand each other more. To begin, I'd like to give you a brief history of my disbelief. I was born 17 years ago to two pastors, and for the first 12 of those years, I was content with the faith of my family. It never crossed my mind that you might not exist until about 5 years ago, and since then I have continuously been refining my beliefs. Here's where I'm at right now. I can see that life is beautiful and that love is real. Good is more powerful than evil, and happiness is everywhere. Also understand, however, that I see the world's faults. Innocent people die at the hands of tyrants, and needless wars take thousands of lives. Uncured diseases kill millions, and right now, somewhere, a child is going to bed hungry. I'm not one to look at all the good things in life and say that you must exist, but I'm also not one to look at the bad things and say that you can't exist. To me, any rush to judgment like that seems foolish, and more importantly, irrelevant. Whether you exist or not, there still is a basic human instinct that tells us that poverty, murder, hunger, disease, rape, stealing, etc. are all wrong. And it seems to me that if believers and non-believers alike could spend half as much time worrying about these things as they do debating your existence, that the world's problems would be much closer to being solved. So here's what I believe in a nutshell. I have no idea if you are real or not, but I don't believe that it's possible for one to prove your existence one way or the other. At this point in time, I have no reason to believe in your existence, but if you're listening, I want to know that you're there. I don't profess to have all the answers, and I certainly don't know what your policy might be towards non-believers. If you do in fact exist, and for whatever reason I never recognize your existence, allow me to first and foremost apologize. My disbelief is not meant as a rejection of your ways, but is instead simply a result of my being honest with myself. I try to live as wholesome a life as possible, and while I may not believe every word of them, I live by many of the basic principles of all sorts of holy works. It is my hope that if you do exist, you avoid passing judgment based on a person's belief in you alone, and instead look at the sort of life a person has led. If my disbelief in you is enough to doom me to hell, then even if you do exist, you're not the kind of God who I would choose to worship anyway. I have faith, however, that if you exist, and you're smart enough to create the heavens and the earth, that you're also smart enough not to pass too quick of a judgment. I'm at a point in my life now where I'm coming to terms with who I am as a person, and where I'm beginning to feel pretty comfortable in my agnosticism. While I naturally think that my views are correct, I realize that there is no way to be sure. If I am wrong, if you exist, this is my request. Understand the reasons for my disbelief, and, more importantly, let your existence be known. Daniel Brown.